An assessment of the West Barnstable shooting range is complete. We have details. A few new officers join the Barnstable Police Department. And do you need something to do this weekend? We have details about the upcoming 15th annual Multicultural Festival at Cape Cod Community College. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, February 23rd, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. Town officials are reviewing a recently released report detailing lead concentrations at the West Barnstable shooting range. Town manager Tom Lynch says the study not only looked at how much lead was in the soil, but also looked at remediation plans.
The authors are very careful to say this is an initial assessment, and that there are multiple options that spin off of all of the possibilities that they outline. So they talked about three areas that they were working on. One was the perimeter of lead distribution, and that became the whole lead management area. The other was the lead concentrations within that perimeter, and then also they wanted to develop cost estimates for either remediating the site or for continuing on with a shooting range. And I found the report, the initial report, certainly to be quite thorough. They cite areas where you'll need additional study. The lead management area, we think of the 16 areas that we've defined as a shooting range as the area that we would need to do cleanup in. It actually looks like it's extended out beyond that. They went out beyond found lead concentration, so it says to me that at some point in time we're going to have to do a more thorough study to make sure that when cleanup begins, and that's something that councils have all talked about wanting to do, then we want to make sure we're encompassing the entire area. So there were some fairly high concentrations of lead found. They went on to, after defining all those sites where they found lead, they then talked about the skeet range, the shotgun range, they talked about the rifle range, they talked about the pistol range, and what you would need to do within each of those. And then they made some cost estimates as to what it would take to clean it up. There are a lot of rules and regs that kick into play here, and when you're going to be disposing of lead, which is a toxic element, of course, beyond a certain concentration, you have to dig that soil out. All that soil has to be transported out of state to various, so there's a lot of costs that's in here. They estimated the cost for remediation of the site, where you would not be operating a range again, would be between $7.5 million and $9.5 million.
Wow.
Then there was also discussion about, if you kept the rifle range and the shooting range and the pistol range, perhaps there could be a cleanup within that area of about $2.5 million, and then you'd clean up this lead management area as you went along. There's a lot here to think about, and there are a lot of policy questions that the council is going to have to be looking at. These are not monies that we had programmed into our budget.
Right.
This report was a $25,000 expenditure from our general funds. This has always operated as an enterprise account, in other words, supported by the fees by the users, and we're moving into a different realm now, and we'll have to have some serious discussions about how the council wants to proceed and where we find the monies to do the cleanup and additional studies, and also the cleanup. So.
Lynch says representatives from MT2, the company that completed the assessment, will be available for questions during this week's Town Council meeting. Town Council meets this Thursday at 7 in the Town Hall hearing room. Well, 4 new police officers join the Barnstable Police Department. A swearing-in ceremony was held Friday. Town manager Tom Lynch was there for the happy occasion.
It was, you know, it's a lengthy process to get these individuals actually out onto out on the street, and I'm sure the chief will probably talk more about that process when he's on later on in the week. But I was, you know, again impressed with the quality of individual that they're able to attract into the police department. I told them that I felt that they were our frontline people. We rely on them, of course, for public safety, but they're also, along with the DPW, the folks who are out there the most, and the professionalism and the way that they interact with each of us, you know, over the course of their careers is going to reflect on the town as a whole. And I believe that the bar has been set very high by those men and women who have come before these individuals because they have had a degree of professionalism and service to the public. So it's a happy day. You know, the family is there, and a lot of the officers, you know, they've been there for a few years. So they're looking back at their career and remembering when they first started out and what that was like. So they've got some good teachers there because we've got some very good people that are moving up through the ranks. So.
And Lynch says it was a very uplifting ceremony. Cape Cod Community College is gearing up for its multicultural festival this weekend. Cape Cod Community College Communications Director Michael Gross says the event kicks off at the Tilden Arts Center Saturday morning at 10 with the Parade of Flags.
I can't emphasize enough the pageantry, the beauty, the power. If you're in the Tilden Arts Center and all of a sudden you hear this wonderful bagpiper who frankly comes to us from Connecticut every year. He was on the Cape the very first year there was a festival, became so enthralled that he comes back every year from Connecticut to lead in our Parade of Flags. And you hear this incredible bagpiper outside Tilden, and then in comes the most astonishing parade of peoples, all in their native costumes, all carrying their country's flag, led by this phenomenal Chinese dragon brought to us by a wonderful group in Sandwich. And it is a real feat. You can't believe that there are this many connections to the world right here on Cape Cod. It goes on and on and on. It's amazing how many groups there are bringing their flags, bringing their cultures to the stage of the Tilden Arts Center. And this Parade of Flags kicked off an entire day's worth of entertainment and all of the vendors, all of the displays all over campus. We're now into 4 different buildings, including the LaRusso, including our Science Center. We have 4 different immersion rooms to get in really totally in a culture of Asia and the Azores, all kinds of Brazil, all kinds of different elements there. And I should stop a minute here. I can go on. But it is an amazing event.
This year there will be a shuttle to take attendees from the parking lot to the event. It is free to attend and runs from 10 to 4 this Saturday. The Community Preservation Committee will consider a plan to spend $300,000 to purchase a parcel of land on Prince Avenue in Marston's Mills. A presentation on the project will be made during the committee's meeting tonight. The Community Preservation Committee meets at 5:30 tonight in the Town Hall hearing room. That meeting will air live right here on Channel 18. The Renewable Energy Commission also meets tonight at 5:30. That meeting will be held in the Selectmen's Conference Room. And finally, the Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee will meet at 7 in the Growth Management Conference Room. We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will catch up with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We'll talk with State Representative Tim Whalen, and we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.